Hello, lovely ladies. Today I'm going to be talking about the three biggest reasons why weight loss is so hard in menopause and what you can do about it. So I'm Nick. I have been a dietitian for over 30 years, and 10 years ago I got breast cancer, and it made me do a deep dive into the research. And I found that plants are the key to not only reducing my risk of getting cancer again, reducing our risk of all of our lifestyle diseases, but also it's the key to breezing through menopause. So today I am going to be talking about the three biggest reasons why weight loss is so hard, and at the end I will let you know how you can find out how you're going in your menopause journey. So if you're joining me live, please say hello in the comments below. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay, and that really helps to get this message out to other women. Okay, so the first reason why weight loss is so much harder in menopause is because menopause happens when we're older. Usually by our late 40s, 50s, and so it's not that our metabolism slows down as we age. Hi, Angela. It's that we lose muscle mass. So our muscle mass is declining, and that is the biggest contributor of why our metabolism is slowing down. Now, this is actually good news because we can do a lot about that. We can improve our muscle mass. And no, that doesn't mean eating more protein. We are protein obsessed, and actually eating too much protein is as harmful as eating too little protein. And that's not something that's widely known out there. And I know that, many people are just like heaping those scoops of protein powder into everything, and it really does damage your kidneys if you're eating too much protein. So the way that we increase our muscle mass and thereby increasing our metabolism is by weight-bearing exercise. So before you run away and hide, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start small. I follow a lovely lady called Lift with C. C as in for cat, double E. Now I'll tag her in the link below. But it's only 20 minutes, and it's for women over 40. Can do it in your home, and you can start with a can of baked beans. Like really, it can start without even having any weights. And just by doing those movements, just like even if every time you get out of a chair, you get up and down 10 times, that is building your muscle mass. So just start small and build from there. So that's the first thing. That's the first reason why, weight loss gets so much harder in menopause, is simply because we've aged and our metabolism slows down because we're losing the muscle mass. All right. The second reason why weight loss is so much harder is because, you guessed it, our hormones. They do change. We stop producing, the estrogen and progesterone, from our fallopian tubes, and no, that's not it. It's our, I can see it in my brain. Anyway, we stop producing progesterone and estrogen, and we start making small amounts elsewhere. Now, what this means is that fat that is normally stored in our buttocks and our thighs is now stored around our middle. And so this is why when women hit menopause, they can go, oh, I've got a muffin top for the first time in my life. What's going on here? And so this is not something that is changed because of what you're eating or your lifestyle. That is purely from your hormones changing. Now, this is actually one of the reasons why our risk of heart disease increases to the same as men's when we hit menopause. So prior to menopause, we actually had a protective effect from estrogen against heart disease. So this can be, definitely something that we can manage through diet and lifestyle, which I'll talk about in a minute. Now, the third reason is definitely what goes on the end of your fork. And, you know, there's lots of, you know, complicating reasons for this, but I see the biggest reason is that we are influenced by a lot of the popular dieting health trends, and they are not suitable for us in menopause. So, you know, you just think about all of the messages that you're getting, you know, like olive oil is healthy, or, you know, we should be having coconut oil, or, you know, maple syrup is better than, you know, sugar. And there's lots of sort of messaging, these subtle messaging coming through. And so we can be thinking that we have a healthy diet, when in actual fact, we're not eating in such a way that is supporting our menopause journey and not supporting our weight loss efforts. And, you know, so, and that's because, you know, what worked in our 20s and 30s isn't going to be working now in our 40s and 50s. So, you know, what can we do about it? What can we do about all of those things? I mean, the first one is definitely we need to be doing some weight-bearing exercise. You know, there isn't a lot we can do about our changing hormones, but we can support our body in such a way that will support menopause and help us lose weight. And the very first thing is that we need to be eating more fiber. Now, fiber is what feeds your good gut bacteria. It is responsible for about 70% of your immunity. It creates these short-chain fatty acids, which is just responsible for so many things. You know, your happy, feel-good hormones, lowering your immunity, lowering autoimmune diseases. It can help restore a leaky gut, making vitamins and minerals. It can also increase your satiety levels. So it is super important that we're eating enough fiber. And I think that, you know, there's this, you know, connotation that fiber is, oh, should I just go out and get some Metamucil? Nah, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to feed your good gut bacteria. We need to be eating fiber, and fiber is only found in plants. So plants are not just vegetables. Plants are fruit, vegetables, whole grains. So, you know, your oats, your rolled oats, your brown rice, your quinoa, and legumes. So they're all your beans and your lentils. Your chickpeas, red kidney beans, black beans, you know, green lentils, red lentils, all of those. And there is a small amount of fiber found in healthy whole fats, like nuts and seeds and avocados and olives, whole olives. It's a big difference between whole olives and olive oil, because olive oil has been stripped of all of the fiber. So I would much rather you eat a whole olive than splushing olive oil over everything. That's why there's a big difference between an orange and orange juice. Same thing, orange juice has been stripped of all the fiber and most of the goodness. And that's why there's a big difference between a whole grain and flour. Anything made from flour has had all the fiber and most of the nutrients stripped away. So as you can see, we want to be eating more of those foods. And the reason being is because fiber not only keeps us regular, and we need to be having an easy daily bowel movement. If you're not, please book an appointment with me. I'll let you know how you can do that in a minute. So we want to be having that easy daily bowel movement. Fiber is also a toxin and estrogen magnet. So it grabs a hold of that estrogen, the unwanted estrogen that we want taken out of our body. If your body has decided that it doesn't want it, we want it out of the body. And if you're not eating enough fiber, what can happen is that that unwanted estrogen can make its way down. But then if it's sitting around in your large intestine because you're constipated, that unwanted estrogen can get reabsorbed back into the body. And that is just going to create, you know, more menopausal problems for you and more work for your liver. So, and then we want, you know, all of that fiber, like I just said, to feed your good gut bacteria. And so, yeah, it's just a win-win when we start eating more plant foods that are going to, benefit us in all of those areas. The other thing that is huge when we want to manage our menopause and to release weight is that we need to think about our dairy consumption and our meat and consumption, because dairy, meat, eggs contain estrogen. And so if we are trying to manage our menopause symptoms, you might need to do some experimenting and find some alternatives to meat and dairy, and you might find that is what helps. So I definitely encourage those experiments, and I say experiments because I think that if we tell ourselves, okay, we're just going to see how my symptoms are or how my weight loss progresses if I give up dairy for a month, and you'll be surprised at what you might discover. All right. Now, I hope that helps. I am running a webinar coming up on the 8th of February. I will put the link in the comments. And if you would like to find out how you're tracking with your menopause journey, or maybe you've just started to notice some differences, you probably entered perimenopause, then I offer a mini menopause assessment. And what we will do is just go through, what your diet and lifestyle is like at the moment. And I will be happy to let you know what the steps that you need to take to help you move in the direction that you want to go. So this is a 30-minute complimentary session. And if you would like that, please comment yes below, and I will be in touch. So I hope that helps. Thanks for sticking around, Angela. And I'll see you next week, same time, 9 o'clock.